Hybrid and multi-cloud by numerous industry estimates is a 750 billion US dollar opportunity to be captured by the year 2025. So what can the cloud companies do in order to capture this opportunity? And we go live. Hi, this is Sidhartha Sharma. Let's talk about the cloud disruption opportunities. As per the numerous estimates, cloud is a 750 billion US dollar opportunity by the year 2025. And if we study the revenues that have been earned by the major cloud players, you realize that some of them are in the range of 40 to 50 billion dollars. Still a lot of potential to be realized. In fact, if we just go by this cloud opportunity, the major cloud service providers can become $100 billion revenue companies just over the matter of 2 to 3 years. And these revenues are sticky in nature. What I mean is that once you have shifted to a particular cloud provider, the stickiness is really high and you will not switch to the next cloud provider very soon. So this is a sustainable source of business revenue, and hence the cloud opportunity is very real and very important to be captured. This is the reason why the big tech as well as the China tech is very aggressive after the cloud opportunity. The traditional companies that have been into the server business and the IT business are even opening their cloud migration services so that they can capture some share of this pie. Hybrid and multi-cloud by numerous industry estimates is a 750 billion US dollar opportunity to be captured by the year 2025. What can the cloud companies do in order to capture this opportunity? In this video, I'm going to talk about 9 key strategic things that cloud service providers can do to immediately start building the foundation to capture this opportunity. Some of these companies have very mature business model. What these big companies are doing and the CAGR at which they are growing, you will realize that they already have most of the things in place. So I think it's the final few strategic areas that they need to focus upon that can help them in capturing this opportunity. And through this video, I want to talk about those particular key strategic areas that I feel that the cloud companies are still lagging in some way or the other. The first point is that they need to have the talent in their teams which have not just the technology consulting capabilities but also the management or strategic consulting capabilities. Basically, get the people who know how the business models look like and what are the major industry trends and the disruptive forces that are shaping the future of that industry. If you have such people in your team, chances are that during the product development and the deployment, you will be giving the right advice to the client, and the client will start perceiving you as the business partner rather than just an IT solutions team that is offering them some migration services. This is important. The time AI takes over, your talent is the key to build those strategic business relationships. The second thing that the cloud company can do is that they can lay out the digital maturity model by industry and subsectors. We are in the year 2021, and from the point where we are standing, it is not difficult to predict how the business is going to look like in the year 2025 and 2030. The advantage that the cloud companies have is that they are serving a lot of companies within the same industry, so they know what does the best-in-class business model look like and what does an average business model look like. And based on the best-in-class business model, they can actually offer or build up the solutions that solve the problems for the client and prepare them for the digital maturity models that are evolving in their industry. So this is where the cloud companies are actually disrupting the consulting companies as well. If you have seen the structure of consulting companies, they are organized by industries and by functions, and of course some of the digital related products and services that are in demand, like digital ventures, like digital transformation and based upon technology solutions. But the cloud companies are building very industry specific products and services, and not just at the big industry level that what is happening in oil and gas. They are going down granular to understand that what are the business operations that their clients are involved in, what are the possible bottlenecks, what are the customer journeys and the pain points, and how can the cloud companies help their clients in solving for them. And these industry solutions are something that are going to determine how over a period of time the clients build and develop the trust with the cloud service providers and stop viewing them as the IT vendors. As the cloud service provider, it is the entire value chain of the industry, and think about the technology use cases within the core industry as well as the various subsectors. Do not just think about your core client's industry. Think about what is the enabling ecosystem around it, and how can you as a cloud service provider solve the various problems that your client is facing. Because the disruption opportunities are present not just in the core business but also in the adjacencies and the new growth verticals that are still untapped. So think around addressing the entire value chain. How can you as a cloud service provider create the offerings that address the entire value chain, that make sure that you emerge as the favorable digital transformation partner for your clients? And you can do so by fulfilling the requirements that they have when it comes to end-to-end digital transformation. The fifth point is about ecosystem partnerships. Even though you are the cloud service provider, or even though you are the big tech company, you need to understand one thing, that A, your client will already have some legacy systems, and B, they will not like to purchase everything from you because that creates a lot of dependencies. So in order to make sure that you are still the favorable cloud service provider for your client, you need to build up an ecosystem of partners that can provide end-to-end solutions that your client wants. So it is a kind of invisible partnership for the client, but at the same time you emerge as the strategic partners or the orchestrator of that service, and you become the touch point for providing the services to the client. So as a cloud service provider, I think you need to be the orchestrator of the entire ecosystem. What are the things that your client would need in the entire cloud architecture that they are building up? And those partners could range from technology providers like IoT services providers, artificial intelligence provider, data monetization providers, or basically IT incidents reporting providers, or anything that simplifies the workflows for the clients is something that you need to have partners around. Your goal as a cloud service provider is to make sure that your client does not have to deal with many partners or many solutions provider. You become the orchestrator of the cloud ecosystem and act as the key touch point for your client for all the services that they need for their digital transformation journey. Cloud companies now need to think about customer success and customer partnerships, and hence they need to contribute to the revenue and the growth agenda of the client. They are not just helping with the cost optimization and the operations, they must also contribute into where the future growth lies and help the client see that. Do not pitch like a cost-based vendor. Be willing to partner, build, and invest in new ventures. And a lot of cloud companies are doing that. They are providing the entire architecture that is needed by the clients to build up new ventures. And they have some agreements with the client on what the possible profit sharing or the revenue sharing model looks like. Data monetization model. This is again another advantage that the cloud companies have. Cloud is all about the migration of data, and as long as within the ethical means they are working with the clients to develop data monetization models, then the client will even trust the cloud companies more. So think about the various data models that you are seeing in the industry, how the companies are going after collecting the data, connecting the data, and then finally monetizing it. What are the potential business models that are evolving? And then make your clients see them as well and partner with your client in building those data architectures that are needed to build such business models. Again, as cloud companies stop thinking in terms of just cloud usage and migration, start thinking as building one-stop solutions when it comes to B2B consulting and operations. This is a very unique opportunity that the cloud companies have, and especially if they have certain big tech capabilities that can offer multiple solutions that the client is looking after, and they can offer it as a one full package. So ecosystems are the future-proof business models as they create dependencies. So if through your offerings and one-stop solutions, you manage to create client dependency on you, then it will be a long-term relationship. The next thing that the big cloud companies need to think about is that how can they build up big SaaS or software as a service models with universal appeal and customization potential. If you see the entire cloud value chain, you realize that yes, SaaS is one of the fastest growing cloud category, and most of these SaaS business models that exist, and so many other as a service kind of business models or banking as a service business models, while they are using the cloud service providers, but they are actually developing their own intermediary business tools or business offerings for the clients. And as a result, they are taking the value away from the big cloud companies. And this is little worrisome Why? Because as the cloud architecture matures, we realize that the existence of these SaaS companies may actually take away a lot of value from the big cloud service providers. So it is also ironical that the cloud companies have so far not succeeded in developing as a software kind of services for the clients, which are built on high business value proposition or cost saving potential, and they are only going after the bigger opportunity. So what I'm trying to say is that look for these micro opportunities that exist within the entire cloud architecture and see if you can develop certain SaaS or subscription offerings for your clients, which right now are being serviced by other companies that are growing fast and building their own place in the entire cloud value chain. The last point I would like to make is that outgrow the IT vendor model. And again, I will reiterate that think about software as a service. Become the business partner who builds future ready business models for the client. You need to get out of the image wherein you think like a system integrator or an IT vendor and still acts as if you are part of the cost side of the business and you're only pitching to the CIOs. It's very important that you build the relationship not just with the CIOs but with all the CXOs, the chief strategy officer, the chief digital officer, and also the chief executive officer, and understand that what their business model is and what kind of solutions do they need. One last point I would like to make is that cloud companies need to carry a neutral image and use the industry playbook wisely. Clients will not trust you as a cloud partner if you're disrupting the industries that you operate in. And if we see how most of the big cloud companies are, there are some companies which are trying to build up their cloud business, but at the same time, they are also building industry specific solutions via their parent company, and that could be a little bit problematic for the company in the long run if they really want to capture this big cloud opportunity. Now, of course, that's a decision that only the company management take. But what they can do is they can carry a neutral image and avoid too much of media or too much of news which is around cannibalization of industries or how they are planning to disrupt various industries. So think in terms of that and earn the customer trust, because once you earn the customer trust, there is a full stack of cloud opportunities that you can realize and monetize. Connect with me on topics related to digital disruption, ecosystems, platform, and cloud transition.